Angel Reese is a champion in the unrivaled that virtually no one watched. People immediately took to social media and Twitter and started posting, look at what Angel Reese has accomplished.
Angel Reese is under heavy criticism, with Jason Whitlock especially outspoken about her. While the media has portrayed her as the key star of the championship run, critics are pointing out that she wasn't even present during the most crucial playoff moments, challenging that narrative.
Angel Reese, 3-on-3. Let's get it! Hey, we back like we never left. Angel Reese in the post. Gonna work number 5. Shake and bake. Earthquake. Bang! Hey, Angel, you had all off season to get in the lab, fix your lamps, but what did you do? More podcasting. Layup, mashed potatoes. Bang!
While her team was competing and working hard to secure the championship, Angel Reese was not present during those key moments. Despite that, some media coverage still presents her as if she played a major role in the victory. In reality, she wasn't even in the arena during that time.
Angel Reese beating her shit. What y'all gonna say now? Now that I have this unrivaled championship that I didn't even think to attend. She went to LeBron James's youngest son's high school state championship game. If this championship mattered, she would show up. She can afford it.
I had no idea that Angel Reese didn't even bother to show up. Did not show up to support her teammates. It was that unimportant, but yet took a victory lap that you won a championship? You got to be joking.
This raises a bigger question. Should this really be considered a defining moment in her career, or is it another case of the media exaggerating Angel Reese's role and shaping a misleading narrative? Let's take a closer look at it.
We're going to leave the hop skippity do 3000 in 2024. Jumping off one foot, landing on that same foot. Then we're stat padding. Still, I thought we were past this, Angel. Bang! Rebounder in Wnba history. Look at this. Elite rebound. Look at that vertical. Look at the outlet pass. No, Angel. No. Why, Angel? Why? Not the kick out 3. Butter pecan. Bang! If you throw it out of bounds, you hate puppies. What? She a playmaker. She's a point queen. Point queen. She making plays for the other team. Bang! Caitlin Clark's not the only one that can make cool passes. I can do it! Me too!
The unrivaled league was promoted as a major breakthrough in women's basketball, presented as an innovative and much-needed refresh for the sport.
Angel Reese was a member of the Rose. They won the inaugural unrivaled championship last night.
I guess if you want to take a victory lap on that, you can. I just don't know if it means anything.
But to be honest, hardly anyone was really paying close attention. This wasn't a traditional 5-on-5 matchup. It was a 3-on-3 format that even many dedicated fans don't regularly follow. Despite that, this smaller-scale summer-style competition was still promoted with the same level of excitement as if it were a WNBA Finals rematch.
How important this championship was to Angel Reese. Angel Reese didn't even attend the game. She was not in the building last.
Reese's team, the Rose, went up against Vinyl in what was billed as the championship final. The issue, however, is that the game largely went unnoticed by the public. Unlike established leagues that draw massive audiences, this competition barely registered on most fans' radar, even with ESPN's attempts to give it more visibility.
All of that was more important than being at the location, being with her teammates.
Why is it just women's basketball where we see athletes acting like?
The only reason this is getting attention, according to some, is Angel Reese. The claim being made is that she didn't take part in the final 2 playoff games, including the championship itself. Instead of being on the court with her teammates during the final stretch, she was reportedly not present and later joined in the celebration remotely through FaceTime. Critics argue that she still managed to stay at the center of the conversation despite not contributing on the court in those decisive moments, suggesting that the attention around her often outweighs her actual involvement in key games.
Her team achieved this remarkable accomplishment. Angel Reese was so thrilled, she FaceTimed in press conference and celebration. That's how big this unrivaled championship.
If this was truly meant to be a major milestone in Angel Reese's career, critics argue she would have been on the court contributing during the decisive moments. Some point to comparisons with other star players, like Caitlin Clark, Aya Wilson, or Breanna Stewart, suggesting that top competitors are expected to be actively involved in championship games. In this framing, Reese reportedly did not play in the final 2 playoff games, including the championship, and instead was later seen joining the celebration remotely. Supporters of this criticism question how significant her on-court role was in the outcome, while others argue that her presence in the broader team experience still drew attention regardless of playing time.
ESPN covered this championship. Chelsea Gray scored 30-some-odd points last night in the championship game. This championship that Angel Reese has added to her trophy case that she didn't even play in the last 2.
As soon as the criticism started coming in, social media quickly rallied to defend her like a full-court press. Her supporters flooded Twitter, labeling her a champion and stacking this smaller, less traditional competition alongside her LSU title and her WNBA rebounding achievements as if they all carried equal significance. Critics argue that this kind of comparison doesn't really hold up, pointing out that different accomplishments come from very different levels of competition and context. In their view, not everything being grouped together carries the same weight or level of impact.
No, it's Angel Reese! Left alone! Bang! My money, and I want it now! Quarter 3 ball, butter pecan, burn!
Y'all gonna disrespect me and not guard me? Well, hand down, man down.
Burn! McDonald's handing out brand deals for this kind of bag work. I'll take a lot less. Help a brother out! Bang!
Really only need 3,997 more threes to catch Steph.
Critics describe this as manufactured hype, arguing that if the championship truly carried major weight, Angel Reese would have been present and playing in the final 2 games, especially the decisive matchup. From that perspective, they claim that top competitors are expected to show up in the most important moments, and that being absent from the court while later joining the celebration remotely doesn't align with the image of a leading on-court figure. They also suggest that media coverage has been heavily focused on building Reese up as a central figure in women's basketball, regardless of her actual role in this specific event. In their view, the achievement being highlighted is being overstated, with more emphasis placed on narrative and visibility than on direct competitive impact.
Thought so much of this championship that she was like, I don't want to diminish the greatness of this championship by attending the game and rooting on my teammates. So I'll FaceTime in. No one wanted a 3-on-3 full court women's basketball league, and no one paid attention to this. Let's put together a social media campaign and let's pretend like Angel Reese just accomplished something.
This isn't the first time, according to critics, that media coverage has gone out of its way to elevate Angel Reese. They point to the unrivaled league championship as the latest example of what they see as a carefully shaped narrative. From this perspective, the league itself didn't generate major mainstream attention, yet outlets like ESPN still highlighted it heavily, presenting it with the tone of a WNBA finals-level moment. Critics also argue that this framing overlooks the fact that Reese did not participate in the games that ultimately decided the championship outcome.
Because we're going to build up this narrative that Angel Reese is one of the great athletes of our lifetime. She's right there with Steph Curry, and she's right there with LeBron James. She's right there with Kevin Durant. She's got a championship at LSU, and now she has a championship in the unrivaled.
Critics argue that it raises questions to praise a player who, in their view, wasn't present during the most important games of the championship run. They suggest that in most sports contexts, missing decisive matches would normally mean missing out on the spotlight that comes with winning. From that perspective, they claim Reese has been treated differently due to strong media attention and narrative building around her. They also point out that the tournament itself, being a new 3-on-3 format, did not feature many of the league's biggest stars, noting that several prominent players either did not participate or withdrew from the event. In their view, this lack of top-tier participation is used to argue that the competition didn't represent the strongest possible level of talent, which they say changes how the championship should be interpreted.
Tell me why I love her odds. Look at her defenders. They moonwalk backwards. She's always gonna be open. If only the IRS left me alone like Angel's defenders leave her alone. Tax evasion! Bang! Her new nickname is 7-Eleven because she's open 24/7, baby. Bang! Shout out to my Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham. This is for you!
This whole situation, according to critics, shows how media hype can outpace reality. They argue that Angel Reese's role in this championship has been overstated, especially since she didn't play in the decisive games. In their view, the team may have even looked more organized without her, yet she still became the focus of attention through social media and narratives. Overall, they believe the story being told doesn't fully match what actually happened on the court, and that real recognition should come from performance, not publicity.